Hello, fellow old schoolers. Echo Greg here with another recorded video. This is a pre-modern video for the Old School Guild House monthly pre-modern tournament. This tournament I think is about 16 people, so it's 4 pods of 4 apiece, and then the winner of each pod will advance to a playoff, and eventually a champion will be crowned. So I am playing a black-green with a slight splash for white food chain deck. I put up a video recently with a very quick deck tech on this, but basically the gist is to run out a food chain and then cycle through your creatures, getting bigger and bigger until eventually you get one of the big 6-drops or higher out, like an Acroma or Phantom Neshoba, or depending if you're worried about swords, Mission Shade, or need to go wider or stop a go wide strategy, Vertaloth the Ancient or Zara the Dreadful to take care of problematic creatures, etc., etc. And then it also has a kind of side plan of sometimes just being able to win through aggro with Grey Ogre 2/2 for 3, Phyrexian Ragers, Drainage Hermits. So I am playing against Brian, who is on a mono black braids prison style deck. So without any further ado, let's take a look. So I win the die roll, and I will play first here in game 1. I'll start off with a Treetop Village and pass. Brian goes Swamp and passes back. So I drop a Swamp of my own and play a Fiend. So looking at his hand, he's got City of Traders, Swamp, Ravenous Rats, Dark Ritual, another Swamp, and 2 Braids. So here I think the thing to worry about is slowing down that Braids. If the Braids comes out too quick, I'll never be able to develop. So I just take the Dark Ritual. If he had only had 1 Braids, I probably would have taken the Braids, but with the redundant copy, if I just take 1, he gets to turn 2 Braids anyway. So the thought here is just to slow him down a little bit, take the Dark Ritual, and then the nice thing about that is I can be more free with how I use the Fiend, because he's got the City of Traders, or he's getting to turn 3 Braids anyway, and I can not worry so much about the Dark Ritual. So on his turn, he plays another Swamp. 12 Therapies me. I believe he named a Learn, as I usually end up playing a Learn when I play Brian. So no hit, but he does get to see my hand. I crack in with the Fiend, and here I'm just figuring out what I want to play land-wise. Switch it up, decide I'd rather have the Forest, because I'm keeping the Swamp because I'm expecting the Rats to come down and I want to be able to pitch one of the lands to it. I got plenty of mana, plus you can see a wall of roots there. So I play a Rager, lose life, I draw a card, but I've got 3 power on the board now. So he drops the Braids. I again go ahead and sack that. He can have his Dark Ritual back at this point. He's got 4 mana. I don't really think the Ritual is going to help, so I'd rather keep a land of my own. And then I swing in, dropping him down to 17. And I'm going to play Wall of Blossoms, draw a card, and the Wall of Roots. And then I'm going to put a counter on the wall and put out a bird. So pretty good turn for me as far as developing the board. I've got access to 6 mana now, depending on what I do with what I have to sacrifice. So Brian takes his turn. He sacrifices a swamp to the Braids. I think here he's just questioning what the power toughness is my blockers are. So right now they're both 0/4s. He's going to play a Bone Shredder and kill my wall of roots. And then he's going to play a swamp, losing the city, casting that Dark Ritual, and putting a second Bone Shredder down to take out my other wall. So no walls. Brian will not be able to pay for them unless he has no Dark Ritual, but he'll also be able to sack one of them to the Braids, so that helps a little bit there for him. I decided to sack a swamp. Again, play a swamp. Play the other Rager, taking the damage, going to 18. Yeah, I thought he would attack with the Braids, so I was messing with my life total a little bit, but that wasn't the case. And then I'll play a Sylvan Library. That's a very good card in a kind of grinding match like this. And then I just pass. I don't want him to. He's gonna have to lose those anyway, so I don't want him to like double block and lose my Rager. At this point, the Ragers are doing some good work. He is going to play a Rats, forcing me to discard a card. Can't tell what it is in the glare, but I'm pretty sure it was like a Llanowar Waste or another land. I go my upkeep. I'm going to sack a swamp to the Braids. I am going to draw an extra card, dropping down to 14. Play another swamp. Come in for 4. He is going to chump, or not chump, trade, and yeah, there's the chump, so he takes no damage, but he has no creatures, and I'm going to play a Deranged Hermit. So Deranged Hermit, if you're not familiar, 5-drop 1/1 elf. It gives all squirrels +1/+1, and when it comes into play, it puts 4 squirrels. So I've got 4 2/2s right now, so that's 9 power for 5 mana, plus the 2 for the Rager. So he plays an Icarid, swings in for 3. Then Icarid dies at the end of turn. He passes. I'm going to pay the Echo. I talk about Saki, but then he reminds me, oh, you didn't put the Braids input. And then I saw the one that he had his hand face up. So a little confusion there, but get to keep my land. Then I crack in for 11, putting Brian down to 6. And I play another Birds. No cards in hand. Brian is going to bring the Icarid back. Then he's going to play a Rager, putting himself down to 5, draw a card. He cracks in. Just to be safe, I block it. Probably didn't need to, but I was a little low. That would have put me to 8. I don't think the black deck can deal 8 with just 1 land, but you never know. So I had the blocker, and then didn't need to spend the mana on anything, so happily threw the creature in front of the Icarid, and took down game 1. Brian concedes. I had lethal on board. So we go to sideboards here. I am going to be sideboarding in some Graveyard Hate. I thought about sideboarding Engineered Plague, but really his creature base is kind of spread out. It doesn't take out a Braid, so not super useful. So I just side in the 2 Crypts and the 2 Furnaces. Take out a Naturalize and think of Mesmeric Fiend and Ishan Shade, and I forget the 4th thing I took out. Ishan Shade, while I have a 5/5 beater, is nice. The pro white doesn't matter, so that's free to come out. I have better 6 drops. So we move up to game 2, where Brian will take the play. We take a look at our opening hands. They're both good. Brian starts off with a Swamp, into a Cabal Therapy. He's thinking of what to name. I believe he called for a deranged... No, he did not call for it. I think he called for... I don't remember what he he said, but he does not hit it. He just shows my hand of Fierce Empath, Ranged Hermit, Birds, and 4 lands. So I draw, gonna play out the city, take a damage, play a Birds, and pass. Ravenous Rats comes down, forcing me to discard a card. I'm gonna discard the Swamp. And then he's going to flash back the Therapy, and he's going to take my Fierce Empath. And sees the other card in my hand is a Llanowar Wastes. I untap, draw, play a Village, and pass to him. Another Swamp from Brian. Taps 2. Edicts away my Birds. I could have activated the Treetop to save them, but I think at this point the Treetop's probably more valuable. Played a Forest, think about what I want to do here. I was looking up if Innocent Blood was a instant or a sorcery. It is a sorcery, so I'm free to crack in with just having the 1 land open. So that puts him down to 17, puts me at 18 from the city damage. He plays a Rager, takes a damage, untaps. I play the Wastes, activate, come in for 3. He goes down to 13. Then I tap the city for another damage, and I play a Phyrexian Furnace and remove the bottom card of his graveyard. So I brought the Furnace in for 2 reasons, for the Icarids, and also for Cabal Therapy, so I can get him before he flashes back. So he plays another Therapy and names a Hermit, which is too bad because it's getting pretty close to actually casting that, and then reveals my other card, Verdaloth. And then he plays Ravenous Rats. I go ahead and ditch the Verdaloth. Having a 4/7 would be nice, but it is susceptible to the Bone Splitters, so I think just having another factory on board, or another treetop on board, is more useful, especially now that I see he drops a Wasteland and Wastelands it, so I think I made the right choice there. So I will play the Village and pass to him. Brian comes in for 3, so get a little painful there, and then Cabal Therapies me. He names Hermit, just to see if I had one, and nope, just show him the land. At the end of his turn, I just start chipping away at that graveyard. Play a land, remove one of his Cabal Therapies, and then I activate, swinging for 3, putting him down to 10. We have a brief discussion about life. I had him at 12, he had himself at 13, but I think I just over-rotated, so... and then I pass. He cracks in for another 3, putting me at 9. And another Wasteland, so that's brutal there. I might have been able to stabilize, but still got some good cards I can draw. Play a second Furnace. I'm going to blow up 2 of his things, and I'm going to sack one of the Furnaces to draw a card, just emptying his graveyard, see if I can get anything. And I play a land, pass. So I'm flooding out a little bit here. Just unfortunate, but that's how Magic goes sometimes. So he plays a Rager, goes to 9. I untap, draw. I take the damage, going to 5, but I've got a Hermit, and pass to him. So my Squirrels can block everything of his. Unfortunately, he's got the Bone Splinter, or a Bone Shredder. Bone Splinter's a different card, which takes care of the Hermit, makes my Squirrels all just 1/1s, but I am able to double chump and take out his 2 Ragers. So I will take a damage, drop into 4. At the end of his turn, I remove one of his Ragers just to keep the graveyard clean. And he to come up with some options here. Things are getting a little dicey. I decided to crack it in. I just need to draw a card. I need to get something. So hurts to lose that, but Rager, while it's good, it can block favorably. It does lose me life. Brian does not choose to pay the upkeep here. He's got the Ichorid coming in. I have to block the Ichorid. And now it feels real bad having to get rid of that furnace, because now the Ichorid's going to just keep coming back and back and back. But I needed to draw a card. I needed to get something going, because otherwise I was going to be on the losing end. So I'm going to put myself down to 1. And there's another Hermit. That might be enough to stabilize. He is going to be able to get the Ichorid back. But unfortunately, he's got another Bone Shredder, and that should probably do it. Comes in with both. I'll block 2 of them, killing both his guys. That will allow the Ichorid to come back next turn. But the bigger problem is going to be that Bone Shredder if he pays the Echo, because it does have flying. Another Rager, putting him down to 8. He passes to me. I draw. At this point, my only out is that he decides not to pay the Echo on the flyer. That at least will buy me a turn. So I play Library. I did have a Food Chain in hand and a Fierce Empath, but unfortunately I was only at 1 life, so I could not get up enough mana. I would have had to tap the city, so I just went for the hope that he wouldn't pay the Echo, but of course he does, and that gives him enough to swing in, and Brian takes down game 2. So no sideboard changes for me or Brian. It looks like he's looking through his deck. We'll see if he makes another change, but I'm happy running back what I had done, and it looks like Brian is too. So we'll move on to the deciding game 3, where I will take the play. I think the play is pretty important in this matchup because of the disruption that Brian has. He really wants to be, especially Braids, like a turn ahead of me. So with the ability for me to get down the quick mana dork like a bird, and then really kind of start wrapping into stuff or get an early Food Chain down, that really does some work. So we'll see how it goes. Shuffling's all done. I'm happy with my 7. Brian's finishing up his shuffling now. Taking a look at his opening 7. He keeps, and off we go. So Forest and the Birds, pretty good start for my deck. That does allow turn 2 Food Chain combo, but I don't have it. So I play a Treetop and a Mesmeric Fiend. So I see 2 Dystopias, and a Diabolic Edict, an Ichorid, and Rats. So I'll take the Edict. I do have a Food Chain in hand, and I just want to try and limit what interaction he has for that. So he plays his Rats. I discard a Wall of Blossoms, and then I play a City. There's a Rager. Draw a card, and I just pass. At this point, I'm just trying to get up a little bit of resources on the board before I drop the Food Chain down. So he plays another Rats, and I discard a Forest, and then he passes. Play a Landmore Wastes, and I'm just calculating myself here. I have the Acroma in hand, so it's trying to figure out if I have enough to get it out while also having some backup, and then I also have to make sure I keep some green permanents in play because of I know a Dystopia is going to come down. So yeah, I do the Food Chain thing. I sack the Rager for 4, tap the Bird for 1, then sack it for another 2, and then tap the City for a total of 8. Flop that down, Kraken for 6. He does play the Dystopia. Luckily I have a Food Chain I can ditch. So I do, then I activate, and I come in for 9, which drops him down to 5, so things are looking good. He's going to go to 4 off the Dystopia. So right now, with the Dystopia, I will be able to activate the village and save the thing, but he plays the second one, which will prevent that. So I will let the angel die, but not activate that, so the Dystopia only has the 1 target. Then I will activate the village and come in for 3. He's going to chump block. They explain that has trample, so Brian's going to really think about it for a second. Does he want to go down to, 2 or 1, or what does he want to do here in order to keep his life total as high as he can? So he just chumps with the 1, drops down to 1, lets both Dystopias die. Plays a Braids, so that gives him 3 blocker. He can block that, but luckily I still have the Fiend. So during my upkeep with that trigger on the staff, I activate that and sack a land. And then I crack in. He can block that, but the 1 gets through. Excuse me. Then I'm able to take it down. So, good games to Brian. How I get a little bit of cough, so I did here. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time.